Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be covering Tommy Robinson being assaulted 4 times in Warrington yesterday, now that we have the news sources in, and this from Yahoo News. Blackburn man films throwing milkshake over Tommy Robinson. Blackburn man has been filmed throwing milkshake over Tommy Robinson. Daniel Mahmood, 23, was working in Warrington and claims he was approached by the former English Defence League leader, EDL, while on his way home. It's nice how these people frame this, and I will give a shout out to other newspapers at the end of this, because they like to frame it in a very different way and don't say former English Defence League leader, considering that he wishes to distance himself from there. In fact, they call him a liberal activist, so shout out there at the end. So, the MEP candidate reacted by appearing to throw several punches at the man before being pulled away. Robinson can be heard to say the only person here pushed was a woman. Mr. Mohammed shakes his head before launching the McDonald's milkshake. Robinson looks at the milkshake over himself as the cameraman shouts, "That's what you get for being a fascist." Speaking to the mirror, Mr. Mohammed informed police that he had been approached by Robinson several times. He told the newspaper, "I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want anything to do with him." Just a happy little face there. He saw I was the only Asian man there. Asian. Can we get rid of that by saying Asian? I mean, we mean Middle Eastern. Just to at least be more specific. I'm not going to say a particular country, but when you think Asian, is that what you think of, or do you think Oriental? Yep. Okay. He kept coming up to me and asking, "Am I a racist? Do you think I'm a racist?" I was minding my own business, and he kept on approaching me. He was pressuring me, following me around with his camera. He was being aggressive, coming up to my face. Well, that definitely is very interesting, isn't it? It seems like Tommy Robinson was therefore being very aggressive. The comments support Tommy Robinson pretty clearly. Remember what happened to the man who broke an egg on Corbyn's head? He was charged 28 days. I wonder if the same thing happens to this chap who threw the milkshake at Robinson. After all, it still should be classed as an assault. In case you're wondering, no, he was taken by the police and released at a train station. So the footage is here.
No, you would, we'll show you the footage later. So you come here very aggressively, you got over. Little prick!
And in that, you can see that Tommy Robinson did punch back a few times first before stopping, and the other people, thankfully, restraining everyone involved. I believe Tommy Robinson stopped before being restrained, but nonetheless, yes, he did punch back. Who knows what that liquid could have been inside there, considering we didn't see him drink from any of it. It could well have been acid, considering how well-known Islamists are for throwing acid at people. And you might be thinking, maybe he isn't a Muslim, but we'll get to that. So here we see him talking to the police about it.
Get the ankles on him now! Just swelled him, lad.
So he's being taken away by the police, and people are saying, put the cuffs on him, and the police taking him away. They are not handcuffing him at all, but they are taking him away from the premises. This goes through and they take him around the corner, and in case you're wondering if, from what you've heard, the people of Warrington do not support Tommy Robinson, well, after this, as they get back into the centre, there is definite support for him. So, what happened after that? Well, it's not going to load.
Yes, bro. Yes, G. How are you, man?
Respect, BB1.
So yes, G is in gangster, BB1 is Blackburn.
Did you even get nicked?
Nah, bro.
Yeah, man. Everything's blessed, alhamdulillah.
So did you get nicked? No. Did you get arrested? No.
Alhamdulillah, lana shukr.
So that should hopefully explain if you think he's Islamic or not. The closest I could find to what he said, Alhamdulillah wa shukra lillah, the Arabic expression meaning which means praise belongs to Allah and all thanks to Allah. I'll let that sink in for a moment. But you might be wondering, well, Tommy Robinson shouldn't have gone up to him, which I show you this. There he is in the middle of the screen at the moment, shouting, coming towards Tommy Robinson. Clearly being very aggressive, not at all leaving him alone like he said he was. Here he comes again, you see him in the middle of the screen. Nice behind Tommy, to the left of him. Thankfully being restrained, that is the first time.
You can see him. This is the man that's been portrayed to the whole country. He's innocent. He said in his interview, you'll know.
This is the second time. This lady says that she's just been pushed by him.
The women come with me, they point to the young Muslim gentleman, they point to him to say he's attacked them. The police...
So as you can see, they speak to the police about it, and he's not being arrested.
Police officer, rather than dealing with it and doing his job,
good to point out that the person later on in the yellow shirt does get attacked. Person in the middle there. So they're trying to ask the police what is happening about it. And this bit is of lovely importance for a moment, because they say in this tweet here that Tommy Robinson had to be escorted by a police car through because the crowds of anti-fascists won't let him move. Here's some footage of it from Warrington. And as you can see, they are zooming in on this bit of the car just here. One problem with that is if you go from the beginning and look through, you can see the other side of the car just here is Tommy Robinson, and that is because he's not in the car. He was trying to tell the police lady about the assault, and they then decided to leave. So he was not in the car at all. I'm glad we could clear that up. As you can see here, this gentleman is also a member of the police force.
At this point,
this is him having lunch and being...
You don't know nothing, you bitch!
So he's trying to speak to another gentleman, and this guy came in, started speaking to him with these obscenities. And you can claim that as assault because he did push Tommy Robinson, which is the first time. Moving on.
It's my fucking choice to be here!
What's on her chain is for the new Soviet, a fascist.
Oh wow!
You have a chain.
Show the chain then. Show the chain. Show the chain.
This lady is wearing a necklace with a pendant for the Communist Party.
Into it. Honestly, do you think I'm
The importance of this bit is for some assault from another lady, which is on the right of off the screen but to the right. She's about to come in with some very tangible words. There's the same Muslim gentleman, of course, on the right as well.
I spoke to you quietly. She came up to him.
So here comes the lady on the right. She's got quite a lot of weight behind her.
I go up to the police officer. You'll watch the footage. That's young Muslim.
And this is the gentleman. This is a different angle from when he poured the drink on Tommy.
I've been.
None of them are in this.
I can serve afterwards. There, you can read it. The police dropped him off at the train station.
So there you go. Dropped off at the train station, and then what happened next? Well, he was in the back of the taxi here.
Come along.
And it
Yes,
shows
bro.
Yes, G.
How are you, man?
Respect. BB1.
Hey,
All the way.
did you even get nicked?
Nah, bro.
Yeah, man. Everything's blessed. Alhamdulillah. Man.
Alhamdulillah. Lana shukr.
So there we go. Tommy is of course asking for more security at the end if you wish to donate.
Northwest of England vote. Okay? But I need your help. If you can support me so I can hire proper security for the rest of the 4 weeks, you can do so at www.
And he's a very cheeky chappy because he ends the
I
video.
need your help. We're in Middleton today. I'll see you all there.
What a cheeky wink. So yes, for those of you wondering what assaulting a politician can lead to, from the egging of Jeremy Corbyn, the Brexiteer, they love to frame this, jailed for 28 days, and he does say that he's perfectly happy to go to jail because he feels like democracy is being threatened considering the Brexit vote still hasn't been carried out, which is why we're having the MEP elections in the first place. From Guerrilla Wire, they are essentially encouraging the assault of Tommy Robinson. However, they do say, I'm thinking of the Indy 100, because this says still there will be plenty of milkshake holding opportunities, look on the bright side, whereas the Indy 100 from the Independent, where it says Tommy Robinson had a milkshake thrown at him again and it became an instant meme, they have many examples, and they have quite a few different memes, and I'm a fan of memes, that's fine. Johnny Mercer, the Tory MP for Plymouth Moor, enjoyed it. That has since been deleted, but we will get onto that. But the disturbing bit is people soon started to compliment Mahmoud with some also wanting to buy him a well-earned milkshake. Make the milkshake guy Prime Minister. That land throwing milkshake over Tommy Robinson has done exponentially more to challenge his views than the procession of BBC presenters getting him on primetime telly and going, that's an interesting Robinson. What makes you say that? Please elaborate further. And they say, anyone know this lad? I owe him a milkshake, maybe even dinner. If you ever see this man, please buy a milkshake from all of us. And the great quote here, speaking to Asian Image, Mahmoud explained that he didn't plan on attacking Robinson and was left shaken and shocked. I was in Warrington for a meeting and afterwards was on my way home. I had to pass this group of people. We've seen from the footage that's a lie. He, Robinson, just kept talking to me. A lie. I kept moving location. Yes, to follow him. I was the only Asian guy there. Sure. I said to him, I do not wish to speak to you on or off camera. Clearly not, considering he was filming it as well, or at least, for whatever reason, he had his phone up to his face during the altercations, as you could see in the early footage. I just got annoyed with him. A milkshake slipped out of my hand. Really, throwing a milkshake over somebody and then making sure to hit it on the guy's head, the victim's head, is not slipping out of your hand. I had no intention of doing anything or reacting in any way, but he kept talking. I feel a bit shaken up and shocked, to be honest. Well, clearly not, because we've seen the footage of you in the back of the taxi smiling and laughing about it and quoting Quran quotes, praising Allah. All videos like this is from the Indy 100 again, their editorial. While videos like this are undeniably funny, it's important to remember that engaging in this type of behaviour isn't advisable. Not that they disavow it and say, don't do it at all, it's illegal and assault, but it isn't advisable. Yes, because it could end with you in prison. Maybe if you're a straight white male, Christian as well, because those four groups are being persecuted the most. But if you're a gay Muslim, okay, you're not going to be a gay Muslim, are you? Unless you think that quantum physics explains your gender fluidity. I'm sure you've seen that viral video as well. But yes, that's what it says. So this is clearly all a load of codswaddle, a load of lies, and with Johnny Mercer, Plymouth MP Johnny Mercer apologises for Tommy Robinson milkshake comment. The Plymouth MP also made cryptic and veiled allegations. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter, isn't relevant. So he said. So the tweet he retweeted read, "How's my man so casual? Tommy Robinson's milkshake brings all the boys to the yard." There we go. It's the same clip as before, and he has since replied to the backlash from this. Geez, the reaction to this, it's a milkshake. A milkshake. Clearly I condemn political violence. This is not political violence from this guy on the left. It is a milkshake. Well, you don't know what's in the container, and considering Islamists are well known for their acid attacks, it could very well have been a different liquid. If you suddenly get something poured on you, you don't know what the person's going to do next, seeing as they have already shown that they are capable of violence. In which case, I do not blame Tommy Robinson at all for fighting back, because it's a response from the initial antagonist, and it is to prevent any further damage. You're going to be disoriented and blinded, at least briefly, not knowing what's happening, so you're going to lash out when you can't see anything to try and stop the person from landing any blows on you while they know what they're doing and you don't. It's fair enough. Maybe you think it's not in proportion, but considering you don't know what's happening next, it's for your own safety to respond in kind. Plus, you don't know what's in the cup. Maybe it wasn't a milkshake, it could have been acid. Thankfully it wasn't this time, and I hope it never is. He also says, Johnny Mercer again, "I apologise for all milkshake-related jokes." Excuse me. "Never let it be said that British politics has lost its sense of proportion." Again, you don't know what was possibly in there and what the gentleman would have done afterwards if Tommy Robinson hadn't responded. Then he goes on to a different topic. Right, so Johnny Mercer's Twitter page. He does, thankfully, recall it after saying, "Comparing a milkshake being thrown over someone to serious political violence is infantile. We're not saying it's serious political violence, we're saying that it's a slippery slope and it's not a good idea to allow people to do these things in the first place because it's going to encourage more and more people doing the same. It's already become a meme, and there are people saying if you want to make Tommy Robinson's sphincter switch, just have a milkshake, or if you don't want him to come near you, have a milkshake. It's like garlic to vampires." That's what they're saying. "Never waited on college getting shouted at in London, because in comparison to some countries we are very lucky. I don't condone any of it, but let's not pretend we're Zimbabwe." Yes, I agree, we're lucky, so let's not let it be dragged down to the third world by importing the third world. But he does say, "For the avoidance of doubt, this is assault, and of course it is completely unacceptable." So thank you, Johnny Mercer. I do agree with the last bit you said. It is assault, and of course it's completely unacceptable. Considering it is assault, which is illegal, why has nothing been done by the police? Obviously it hasn't. 4 instances, nothing's been done. But, honourable mentions from Politicalite, which does describe Tommy Robinson as a self-described liberal activist. So, thank you. At least you're not saying, former BNP member, EDL founder and leader, Islamophobe, far-right, all that. No, you're actually going with what he says, almost as if this is a site that does journalism and actually listens to what the people are saying and researches into them. That makes a nice change, doesn't it? And this is well from The Spectator, saying the double standards of political violence, which mentions, for example, the gentleman who egged Jeremy Corbyn getting 28 days in jail. Fair enough. But, of course, I am concerned about posting anything Tommy Robinson related as we get back onto the ever-present issue of censorship, as here we are from Facebook. So, "We removed something you posted. It looks like something you posted doesn't follow our community standards." What was it? It was just an image saying "Vote Tommy" with a Union Jack. But then again, St. George's flag is racist, so why not the Union Jack as well? It's ridiculous. Let's hope something changes soon. I hope everybody does their part to speak up, get the message out. I know you don't want to be too overt about it. That's why I don't show my face, because I don't want to be associated with this, because it will give me bad prospects in the future. But thankfully, for the time being, our voting is anonymous, so you can still make your voice heard at the ballot box. And I hope you do. As we know, there has also been censorship from Facebook very recently for Alex Jones, again, right? Molly Yiannopoulos, and fun thing about the Greek surname, but that'll be in a different video about a Tory MP and the Salford shooting that happened recently, very near me. Yes, a shooting, I know, in Britain, where guns are illegal. Who would have thought? Also been banned Laura Loomer and Paul Joseph Watson, who my girlfriend likes very much, so now you've angered her. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and I will see you next time. And it'll be a story much closer to home for me, with a man being shot twice in Salford, very near to where I live. Although I would like to say he was a real soldier of a man, because after being shot twice with his son next to him, he drove himself to hospital. What a guy. Anyway, thank you again, liking, sharing, commenting. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, share it around, let Tommy see this, and vote Tommy 23rd of May. Thank you.